Welcome to TechbrothersIT. In this video, we are going to learn how to read files from Azure File Share by using a SSIS package in Azure Data Factory. So what we are going to learn here, we are going to learn how to create a SSIS package to read CSV file and load into the Azure SQL table. That's the first thing we are going to learn. Then we are going to deploy that package to the SSISDB, which we have created on Azure SQL DB. Now, then we will run the SSIS package from the SSISDB catalog and see if we get some errors, and there are some very common error. We do get that, and I'm going to show you how to fix them. And finally, we will create the pipeline and call that SSIS package that will read the files from Azure File Share and load to the our Azure SQL database. Let's go ahead and take a look and start working on this scenario. So first of all, we need to create our package. So here what we have in this server or database, actually in this TechbrothersIT TB, I have a table called the total sale. So I'm gonna truncate this table, and right now if you take a look here, we don't have any data in there, that one. Now I'm opening my Visual Studio, and in my Visual Studio I'm going to create a new project, and I'm gonna go right there and go to the project here, and then create an integration services project. Just friends who are like me, kind of new to the SSIS, and it's kind of sometimes a very basic question. So where exactly your Visual Studio will be? Your Visual Studio can be anywhere, maybe on your local laptop or maybe on the Azure VM. So you have nothing to worry about that. Once your Visual Studio is installed, you will be able to create this package or project. Let's give this name SSIS Azure file share read, okay, because we are going to read the data from Azure file share. Now we are gonna hit create here, and it's gonna create our project. Now first of all, I'm gonna go here and let me show you guys here. I have this input folder, and I have this file called the total sale. This is the file on my local as of now. So if you see right there, and what you are gonna see, like, oh, ID, salesperson, first name, last name, and all that. So first we are creating this package on the local machine, and then we are gonna take this package to the SSISDB that's on our Azure. So you see right here, that's my Azure, and there our SSISDB. So we create the package there first, then deploy the package here, and then we are gonna make some changes to read from the file share. So as of now, first we are creating package which will be able to read from our C drive or D drive or anywhere, and then load to the database. So first of all, what I need a data flow task. So inside the data flow task, what I need a flat file source. So that is our flat file source right there. And now we are going to make a connection. So in this connection, I'm going to go new. You can give some proper name to this one, and I'm going to call this FFL connection. Okay, that should work fine. Now let's browse and go to the input folder. Here I'm going to change to the CSV files because I need to read total sale.csv file. Hit open, and now one of the thing is the code pages. I don't know why it's coming like that. I need the 1252 Latin. So let me see where it is. Otherwise I have to do a lot of conversions. So 1252 Latin 1. Okay, that should work. Now once I do that, I'm going to go to columns here, and I can see my data. This looks good, and go to advanced, everything looks fine, and retain null values or not, it doesn't really matter. So in this case, I'm reading all the data from my CSV called the total sale. So you can give some name, call total sale or whatever, but you can have also maybe load multiple files as well with the same structure later on by using this package. Now we will be writing the data to some table. So I'm going to use OLEDB here and OLEDB destination. But in this OLEDB, I'm going to make a connection to my Azure SQL database. So here I'm going to collect new, and here is my Azure database. I'm going to delete this one, hit OK, and I'm going to go new again so I can show you how I created this one. Here, if you go to you can go to the Azure portal if you want, and you can see your SQL server here that I created for Azure SQL database. And then you are going to use a server name. So let's say That's your user. And let me go back actually to the SQL database, and here is my Tech Brothers. And once it's open this one, so you can see that's the name of my server. So I can copy, come back to my Visual Studio, provide the name here, and I'm going to use SQL Server Authentication. And my username is a TB user, and password is DBA123, like always I do. And here is my database. So in this database, you can see Tech Brothers, and I test a connection. Everything looks fine. And now this is created. I'm going to go in drop downs, and I'm going to select a total sale. Now I go to mapping here, and I'm going to map all the columns. In this case, it automatically mapped because the column names are exactly like my file column names. This connection came extra because we were just testing, and that's why it came. Now we are all good here. You can give some proper name here if you want, maybe TechbrothersDB or whatever, or Azure SQL, SQL connection. So I will suggest give some proper name. Anyway, so that's good. And now what we are going to do, I'm going to go ahead and truncate this table. Already we have actually truncated, and this is Azure SQL Database. If you know that from the icon, you can tell this is my on-premises, this is my Azure. So, and I'm connected with my TB user here. Now I can run my SSIS package from my local machine and then load the data. So it's called package 1. I'm going to rename this package. I'm going to call this one pkg load csv to Azure SQL DB. That's the name I have given. So I'm going to right click here and say execute. Now 11 rows has been inserted to the table. Let's go ahead and take a look here, and now we can run the query, and our 11 rows are inserted right there. That's great. So I'm going to go ahead and truncate this table anyways, because we are going to deploy this package to the Azure SSIS-DB, and then from there we will be running it again. Now this table does not have any more records. The next part is how we deploy this package to the Azure or SSISDB that's on Azure SQL. See right there, that's my SSISDB. So if you want to watch how did I created the SSISDB and how I created the SSIS-IR, that's the two things you need. You can watch my other videos where I showed how to create the Azure SSIS-IR and how I use the Azure SQL database for my SSISDB. Very simple and easy to create that one. So I will put the link in the description as well for the video, so you can watch that. Now that part is done. So we have this SSIR, that is the computer we are going to use to run our SSIS packages in the Azure. Now that looks fine, and now what we have there, that's first once we created the SSIR, at that time I asked, hey, where you want to create your SSISDB, and I have told this server. So that's why this SSISDB is created. But as of now, this one does not have a whole lot of packages or anything. So I can click right there. Let me go right there, go to properties. So every time you build your package, what's going to happen, it's going to create is pack file. So a couple of things you need to notice. One, in the we want to keep the server, target server 2017 for Azure. So sometimes if I keep 2019, I get error, but let's keep it to 2017 for now. It's not going to make any change for us. It's the same package. So now we are going to go right there in the package, go to properties, and then I'm going to go to this path. Meanwhile, I will just go ahead and build one time to make sure no error, and then I will open this path. Let's open this path, and we are going to go to the here we have bin folder. In the bin folder we have development, and we have this is pack file. That's what we are going to use for deployment. I'm going to copy this path, and I'm going to go to the Azure, and here in the SSIS integration catalog I can click right there. It has SSISDB, and then it has nothing. So here in the SSISDB, I'm going to right click here and create a folder. So just give that name called TB packages, and that means the Tech Brothers packages. And now in the Tech Brothers packages, we can further go and create a project, or sorry, we can if we want. I mean, depends. We have environment and all that. So under each of the folder, there would be project and then environment. So you can click right there and say deploy project. Once you do that, it's going to ask you from where you would like to put that file or packages. In our case, it's fine project deployment, and I'm saying project deployment file. So I'm going to just simply go here and navigate to my folder and hit paste, and this is the spec file. Now that looks fine, and it's going to deploy our SSIS package. So it is where you want to deploy SSIS in the SQL server. Yes, and it asks you your credential. So in my case, I'm going to provide my credential for this server, and here let's connect. And now this is coming as your file folder, then project, and then your package, and say deploy. Okay, our package is deployed successfully. Let's refresh and take a look here. So I can see my package here, and right now that's right there. So that's kind of after the project, it created a list of the packages, and this is only one package I have. Now let's if I go ahead and right click here and execute, what's going to happen? If, as you guys know, that when we created package, it was reading from this file, and file was on the C drive and all that. We need to move this file to some file share in Azure, so we can use the Azure path. So that's what I'm going to do. First of all, we are going to go right there, and let's go to the our home here, and then go to the blob storage. So I have this blob storage, and in the blob storage we have a file shares. And what I can do, I can create a new file share and call the SSIS load files. Okay, so that's where our CSV files are going to exist. Now SSIS load files, under that one I'm gonna upload a file that will be our total sale file. You can load multiple files. In my case, I'm just gonna go with the total sale here. Okay, so we can that looks good. If you have another file, I might try to give you another file and show you how to change the file name and all that. Okay, well, let's go with this one for now. So we have total sale .csv file loaded. Now as you guys know that my package is already there, and I can read from the blob storage file share and load to the table. So how am I going to do it? First of all, I'm going to go configure, and in the configuration I'm going to go do a couple of things. Here first of all, I'm going to go to the connection. So this is one of my connection, and if you guys know that this is the second of the connection. So first of all, this connection called Azure SQL connection. If you guys remember the database name, username, and all that, so TB user. First I need to save the password here. That's what I'm gonna do here, because I'm not using any parameters or environment, so that's why I have to hard code and save the password here. Now this looks fine, and I can go to the file here, and I remember here we will have C drive and reading file from the desktop and all that. That has to be changed. So I'm gonna go right there and bring the file share path from the Azure File Share. So here's my CSV file, and now I'm gonna go right there, go to properties, and I'm gonna copy the URL. So if I copy the URL, it's going to something like that. So I'm gonna go right there and paste the URL so you can see right there. So a couple of things you will be changing. You will send // here, no HTTP, you don't need that, and then here /. So some people call it forward or /, so I'm very bad with that part. So you see that that's how I want it. Now I'm just going to copy this, and this will be good to go. Okay, so we go back to our configuration, and here I'm going to provide the value. Now if you notice that we are trying to read from this file share, we are not trying to read from the C drive anymore. So we should be all good. We have made the changes to our package. It should be reading CSV file and loading to the our Azure table. Let's see what we have in Azure table. Many times I have already checked the no data because I truncated. Right click on the package and execute. So as of now, we are executing our SSIS package that is deployed in SSIS-DB on Azure SQL Database. So you notice that we even didn't go to the Azure Data Factory, but it's working under the hood using the SSIS-IR and it's running the package for us. So that's fine, and we are gonna let this run, open the report, and see if it completes. So sometimes this is weird, and once it's showing you this, like, what the hell? I don't have the report. Why is not showing me report here? So I noticed that you have to click on filter and go, instead of today's day, go to another day, next day. So once you click there and then do it, it's going to show you. Then maybe it's just a time on the system, and your time is different, so that's why, I don't know. So just always, if you are not seeing it, change the filter to the next day and it will start working for you. Now go to the messages, and our package failed. That's actually I wanted to fail because I wanted to show you a few things that you need to do. And here it is saying the beautiful message, many people get that, and says the package name of this file is not specified in the connection, not valid, and this file is not valid, and all those kind of things. So the problem is this SSISIR somehow is not able to get to this file share. So how we need to do this? So we have some script that we can run on SSISDB that will help us to get there. How? So first of all, we need to find that help, which document to use. Here's the document that I will put in the description, and you can use it. If you ask me how it is it easy? I don't know. It's sometimes it take time to understand that. So access data stores and file shares with Windows authentication from SSIS packages in Azure. If you ask me, am I expert on this one? And my answer is no. I have to experiment a lot on these all different tabs, but here that's what we are using it. We are using execute SSISDB, and what we are setting up, this file share path for the on the storage level. So our SSIS packages can access that storage without any problem. So what we are gonna do to do this part, so this is the part we are doing it. You can just put arrow here and just use the arrow key. I don't know how convenient it is, but you can do that. And it is telling you can use something like that. See, this is the one we used. So to make this work, this is second option from top. So make this work, we have to come down, all the way down. Let's go down, further down, and here we have it says that connect to a file share on Azure VM. If you want to do that, you can open your SSISDB and then run this query. Once you run that, you should be able to run it. So let me copy this and come right here. So I'm gonna go right there, and okay, let's do this one, new query. And it is going to be SSISDB. That's where it need to run. So now we have to provide some information. So first of all, we have, this is catalog.set.execute credential. You have to provide a domain here. Then you have to see, I made a mistake. Username or local account of Azure machine. That's what I was not supposed to copy. I was supposed to copy this guy, the next one. Sorry, I copied this. I was supposed to copy this. Okay, connect to a file share in Azure files. So I will do the demo on the other one as well, hopefully, if I will make it work. So now here, what your domain is going to be Azure, stay as it is, and your storage account need to go right here. So let's go back and find our storage account. Here we have a storage account, and in the storage account, you can see right there, TechbrothersIT storage. I'm going to copy and then go back to my SSMS. And here I'm going to paste that. Just remove the space, you don't need that, and you don't need this one either. And now it is asking you password. That's your storage account key. So I'm going to remove this, and then we go back to our account here, go to the keys, and here you can say show keys and copy this, and let's go back and paste that. Now I will provide that, and if you want to see one more time, you can check this out. So we have catalog dot this item here. So Azure domain, this is your storage, this is the key. So now I will run this in SSISDB. It completed successfully. Now we are gonna try again. So let's go right click here and say execute. Execute. No, I'm gonna go refresh the previous report. So I'm gonna refresh, and if I refresh, you still have the same problem. So I'm gonna go to filter here and change it to the 9, and then okay. So finally we are able to see the report here. So see number 18 and number 19, the packet did complete successfully, no problem at all. So that looks good, and if I go right there, it should show me, data loaded from my CSV to my table. I don't know, it's taken forever for me to come up the report. Not good idea though. Okay, so the total number of rows, 12, with the header, probably that's why it's saying that. So it's loaded successfully. Looks good. And now what we are going to do, we are going to go to the Azure Data Factory and then create our pipeline there. So I'm going to go to the Azure Data Factory here, and in the Azure Data Factory, I'm going to go to the pencil icon and create a pipeline. So create pipeline here, and now we will use the execute our pipeline. Execute SSIS package. And here we are going to go to settings here and then select the Azure SSIS-IR that we have created here. If you guys remember that, that's in the integration runtimes. So that's what you're going to use. Now it is going to ask you do your SSISDB and then refresh. And once you will say refresh and tell like my packages are in the SSISDB, it's going to get all the folder locations and everything. So TB packages, that's where our package is. And now we go to the project, and in the project we have the package. And then if you have environment set up in SSISDB, you can use it. In my case, I don't have any environment set up and no login. You can go with the basic login or performance or verbose. So in the SSISDB, those reports can give you more detail about this login once you want to see the login. But I'm going to just go with the basic. Now SSIS parameters, we are not passing any parameter to this SSIS package. That's why we are not seeing anyone. And go to connection managers. This is important. So now you see there we have this connection that's using TechbrothersIT. If you want to put it into some different table, you can do that. If you have a password change or something, you can change it, and then you have server name. If you want to change it here, the complete connection string, you have this. You can change it for prod or something, right? Now important, this is your user, and then you have this file share. So that's one of the things I was telling you, like if your file name is changed, you can always come here and just update this one, and it should work just fine. So you can read this different files here, So that's okay. I might just show you another example by changing to 1 or 2 and 3. So we do that, and here is your file you can change. Also, look at this. You can add dynamic contents. So now let's say if you have used looked up here and use for each, that get the list of the file names from your file share, and then you can pass through the this here and write your expression in a variable and change just the file name. So you can load all different files. Let's say you want to have hundreds of files and you want to load from the file share to the table. That will be, you will be changing it here. So maybe later on I will make some video on it. Okay, so that's great. And if you see right there, we didn't make any change here. Everything is staying as it is. And right there you see that I did not make any change here as well. Now we can debug. As of now, we have only 22 records. Okay, so the pipeline completed successfully. It's not going to show a whole lot. It's just telling you I'm completed successfully. Now we go back to our reports here and refresh. So we should have total reports runs 20, and then we should see a new entry here. So you can see that we have next execution all completed fine, and I'm going to take you to the table, and here in the table, if I will execute right now, we have 22 records. If I will execute this, we should have 33 records. So this just work fine. We can truncate this table again. So right now then we truncated, and here are a few things I want to show you. So as of now, if you notice, we have mapped this to we remember we have provided here the our say domain Azure, and then we have storage, and then we have provided the key. That means anytime we are not providing anything here in this part right there, and that's where it is taken automatically. Domain Azure, username our storage. So see right there is in Azure, and then your username, your storage name, and then your password is your key of that storage. So it means if all those packages, if I need to read the data from different file share, it will not be reading from there. Also, I have to actually come here and change it. So let's say if you don't want to save that information there. So let's take this scenario. In this case, if you don't want to do this, and you will come here and you can clear. So you will say catalog dot set execution credential, and this is set blank and blank and blank. Now, if I run this query as of now, what you're going to see, you're going to see this Azure and my storage name as a user. So if I will set this to the blank, what's going to happen is now if you run this, it's going to have blank. So now that's the first thing when our package was failing not to find the values when we were running from SSISDB. So now if I just set this to blank and now if I need to run the package from the Azure Data Factory, if I go ahead and run this package again, it's going to fail because it's not going to be able to find that file share because we have removed from the SSISDB. See right there, it failed. So it is saying package execution failed. For more information, select your activity on the same row. So if we right there, and you can see right there, it is saying that, hey, I'm not able to find this file or whatever. So this is the error it is getting. Why it is getting this? Because it's not able to get to that path. Now here you will save Windows authentication, and once you click that part, it is going to ask you provide the domain. So now the same information what we did there, we can do it here. So I can go to the blob storage here and then provide the blob storage, and I'm going to copy this. So this is very interesting actually. So for every package actually you can set this is I'm gonna delete this one right there. So let me copy this path. So if you are connecting or you want to connect to different file shares in each of the package, you can always come here and provide that. So you have a lot of flexibility when it is your package needs to connect to different file shares and different storage. So I took the key here and just pasting the key. There is no really straightforward ways and validate everything here. So until you don't execute, it's not going to do anything. So now I'm going to go ahead and debug again. And if you guys remember, I have deleted all the data from my table. So if I go ahead and say select, there is no data. Now we are running our pipeline again, and it's in the queue, progress completed successfully. Now we go back here and in the Azure and check the records are there. So there are two things as I said. One thing, you can always come here and set the catalog. Set in the catalog SSISDB your domain, your storage, and then you provide the key of that storage, and then you don't have to do anything in the right here. So you don't just uncheck that. If you have not done that part, you have to do it here. Provide Azure domain, provide your storage name, and then key here. So that will do it. Now, if I remember a few things we were talking, if I want to go back here, and now let me go back to storage, and in the storage, I'm going to load another file. So let me go to the ADF input here, and then total sale. So I'm going to rename this to maybe just let me make a copy. Okay, so I made the copy of here, and then I'm going to rename actually okay, total sale Azure. I can leave as it is everything, so just upload the copy one. Okay, so I'm gonna go here in the containers and file shares, and in the file share I have SSIS load files, and then what I'm gonna do here, I'm gonna upload So I will upload and then upload this file, and here I will say load upload copy and upload. And now what I'm going to do here, I am actually going to make some changes to this file if it let me do that. Edit. So now instead of having all these records, maybe I just delete everything and leave very few records here. Okay, so I saved it, save, and then let me open it again one more time to see if I'm able to see it was saved or not. No, it did not let me save. Okay, so now I'm gonna save it. Only two records are left. Okay, so that's the name of the file, and let me copy. Just I'm gonna change the name right there. So that's the name of the file now, and we are just gonna copy this part of it. Rest of that is same, right? So we go back here, and in the I'm gonna truncate the table first. Truncate table, select no data, and the data factory. Go right there, parameters, connection managers, and here I'm gonna make a change. So instead of a total sale, I'm saying total sale dash copy and all that. Now it's a different file, right? So that's what I was saying. You can use the lookup transformation activity, and then once you get all the list of those files, or get metadata activity or whatever, to get the list of the files. And once you have that, then use the for each loop, and then in the connection, you can write that part, and right here you can write expressions, and then just change this part of the file name, and the rest of that will stay, and then you can load multiple files. Okay, so let's go back and here take a look on the table, and now you can see that we have only two records because our file only contained two records. So this is how you will read the file from or files from the Azure File Share and load to the Azure SQL Database by using SSIS-IR that is installed on your ADF, and you will also deploy your packages to the Azure SQL Database. So I hope this is helpful. Please subscribe my channel, and I will see you guys in the next video.